why dating is cooked. To compete in the modern dating market as a man, you need to look as good as possible, have as much money in your bank account as possible, and be attractive to a large variety of women and have proof of it. Feminism has taken over, and either you boss up and adapt or you get priced out. What's up? It's your boy Stormy. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about why dating is cooked. Before we start, this is not meant to be a red pill talking point video or to completely solve all of the issues and problems surrounding people participating in the modern dating market. Nor could I possibly detail or describe every single issue and problem people are facing today. This video is only meant to explain the state of the modern dating market and some issues that I have personally noticed. All right, with that said, now that I'm 27 years old, I've got a body count well over 30, and I've watched this dating market shift before and after smartphones and again after the pandemic. I was born in 1999, so I'm part of the last generation that got a real childhood, I would say, before smartphones took over. Riding bikes, pick up basketball games and football games with friends, spending the night at each other's houses, being outside from morning until the street lights came on. I've been in a wheelchair now going on 11 years from a spinal cord injury, and before and after that injury, I've noticed a couple clear shifts in how women treated me based on my status and what I could provide for them, slightly but noticeably. Now, I am no longer a monogamous person, but I once was. I've had multiple relationships lasting a couple of years or more. I remember bringing flowers to my girlfriend at her job, only to find out she took another guy home that same day. Let me know if you guys want that full story. I can expand on that in another video. But moral of the story is I got my heart broken early in life. And honestly, that's a good thing because it forced me to learn how to move in this new dating market instead of staying a lover boy. I've also upgraded, and I'm going to explain to you why it's important to always keep your options open. But before we do that, a huge problem that I've noticed in the dating scene out there is the rise in red pill adjacent dating coaches who are prescribing outdated advice to young, clueless, inexperienced men who are desperate for solutions. Tactics like mouthpiece and learning game don't account for the fact that today's women aren't the same as the women earlier generations grew up with. Women now are more self prioritized, and a lot of them care more about your money, appearance, and status than anything else. Teaching a man to value his self identity and personality is decent advice short term, but long term in today's market, it's not effective. A lot of these coaches will also prescribe solutions without any proof or evidence of what they've actually accomplished in the modern dating market themselves. Another huge problem in the dating market is the economy. The dating market has gotten tremendously worse since the pandemic, and the numbers back it up. Today, nearly 1 in 3 adults aged 18 to 34 are living with their parents. That is the highest since the 1940s. And it's not because they're unemployed. Roughly 70% of 24 to 34-year-olds living at home actually have jobs. The average home price is up 34% since 2019, and rents up nearly 18%. And you need to earn around $112,000 a year to afford the average home in the United States. And it's not just men out there having to deal with the issue of living at home with mom and figuring out dating. Women often turn to selling their body or selling their soul through OnlyFans when things get bad out there. But the actual earnings data complicates that. The average OnlyFans creator makes around $150 to $180 a month, and roughly 60% of creators earn under $100 a month. The top 1% take home about a third of all platform revenue. I remember when the recent pandemic happened and every girl I knew turned to OnlyFans to make money because the economy was so bad. I didn't forget you ladies out there. Even though you may have deleted your account, I still remember. Not to mention the average American testosterone in young American men has dropped from about 605 nanograms per deciliter in 1999 to roughly 450 nanograms per deciliter in the mid 2010s, a decline confirmed across multiple independent studies, including one tracking men aged 15 to 39 specifically. That's a generational drop, even among guys who aren't leading an unhealthy lifestyle or accounting for genetic factors. Men are becoming more feminized. Not to mention, hypergamy is at its peak right now. Women were never designed to be loyal. Since the beginning of time, they've been loyal only to whoever could provide for them in case their tribe got overrun and they needed to adapt to the newest, strongest man to survive. Women are built to replicate and survive. Men are built to replicate and provide. That's why women can get over relationships way easier than men and why they don't invest as much. The clearest example I can point to is World War II, when Germany took over France, and the women there immediately attached themselves to the Nazis, then got shamed for it afterward. With modern day feminism, that shame around women jumping ship or monkey branching is basically gone. That's why she has to invest more into the relationship than you do, because it's easier for her to walk away and find someone else. Even an average woman today will turn down someone far better than her because she believes she deserves more. And she can afford to think that way because there's always a man out there desperate enough to save her. Regardless of what you think, to compete in the modern dating market as a man, you need to look as good as possible, have as much money in your bank account as possible, and be attractive to a large variety of women and have proof of it. And my advice is to never live with a woman before marriage or even after if you can help it. Unless you are raising a family, then it's important to have a man and a woman in the household. But other than that, as a man, it makes you complacent and soft. Iron sharpens iron. So I'd rather live alone or surround myself with other men who push me than fold myself into a relationship that makes me comfortable. Across the board, as a man, you have to be better than her. Richer, taller, stronger, smarter, and dictate relationships on your terms. Because it's not happy wife, happy life. It's happy king, happy kingdom. In the past, when I lived with women, I realized I wasn't as focused on my goals, and I would catch myself watching Netflix with them and staying home and not hitting the gym as hard and not going about my workouts. And now, can you cohabitate with a woman and still be focused on your goals and still hit the gym and still grind as hard? Possibly, but a lot of times you'll catch yourself doing the things that they want to do, like cuddling and watching Netflix, and just overall being lazy and complacent. Versus, I remember when I had all guy roommates and we pushed each other to hit the gym hard, and I was a lot more motivated and focused on my workouts and everything else I needed to do, whether it was making content or becoming as strong as possible. As a man, having other men around me pushed me to take my fitness and my money to a whole nother level because there's an inherent competition there. Women are judged on their past while men are judged on their future potential. So don't take what a woman says at face value. What she says she wants and what she actually responds to are two completely different things. And never commit to a woman quickly. Always keep your options open and vet over time, preferably 1 to 3 years before deciding to commit to a relationship if you're taking the monogamous route, because her true colors and behaviors will expose themselves eventually. By the way, chivalry as we once knew it is dead, even though women won't admit it. They'll say they don't want a bad boy, but watch who they actually inherently desire. And be careful with what you share with a woman, because anything personal you tell her can and will be used against you later. Never cry or expose your deepest, darkest feelings or secrets to a woman. You are setting yourself up for failure. I hear it all the time on my podcast, the Stormcast. Women tell me that they want a nice guy, a guy that treats them well. But then they tell me all these crazy stories about all the sex they've had with the bad boys. That's why it's important to never take what a woman says at face value. Now let's zoom out a little bit. Men account for roughly 80% of all suicides in the United States, despite being just under half the population. Men die by suicide at close to 4 times the rate of women. On top of that, men's friendships have been collapsing for over 30 years. In 1990, 55% of men said they had 6 or more close friends. By 2021, that was down to 27%. The number of men with 0 close friends went from 3% to 15%, a five-fold increase. This isn't women's fault though, and it's not the dating market's fault either. There's a much bigger problem here: isolation, how men are raised to handle pain, lack of real community, and as a man, you are expected to carry the physical, financial, and oftentimes emotional load in your relationships and be the leader. Listen, I feel bad for both men and women out there trying to navigate the modern dating market. It's cooked. If you don't adapt, you're going to get left behind. Feminism has taken over, and either you boss up and adapt or you get priced out. Sitting around complaining about how things used to be isn't going to help either. This is 2026. The monetized dating market is here, and you're either a have yacht or a have not. Save yourself, because no one is coming to save you, unless you're a woman, of course. Listen, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought of today's video. Is today's dating market cooked? Like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.